Good morning. It's Tuesday. Market's been open for about 2 hours now. And let's check out the market at a glance. So the market's here. It is the ES right now, and it's still sitting at this top. I mentioned before, this is a very important resistance line. Also, what I mentioned is the resistance line aren't always, let me get rid of this alert, aren't always, well, they're never 100% accurate. Although this line is here and the line pokes above it or it doesn't even come that far, it's just somewhere in this area. And basically that's telling you that it's pretty much at a top. Now, if you look at the VIX, the volatility index, this is already hitting a big support line. It's already below it. So at the very least, this market needs to correct. I got the Dow Jones here. Dow Jones is down about 144 points. So it's coming down. It's hit this pretty big top up here. There's big resistance with the Dow also. Getting back to the ES. So I would say at the very least, this thing needs to bring that VIX back up above that line. So it needs to come down at least to here. So a friend sent me an article yesterday about this guy. He's an analyst, researcher in the markets. He's been doing this for about 50 years. And he seems to be a contrarian. He seems that the market's going to continue up instead of going down, where most people are talking about going down, including me. I think it's going to go down at this point. Now, he could be right. It could break up and it could go up here. He does agree that eventually it's going to come slamming down, and we're not going to have a hard landing at this point. I mean a soft landing. We weren't going to have one anyway, but it just seems like if this market does come back up in this area, turns around, comes down, we're going to have a very hard landing. He's even talking about unemployment up at 50% when eventually does turn around. He's thinking into summer. Now, I don't know if he's right or wrong, but he does agree with everybody else that we do have a very big recession coming up, even depression. And not to scare people, but one of the reasons why I'm doing this is to prepare you so you can make money at this game, because this game is all about taking your money. And so if I can help teach you how to make money instead, then I've done my job. So anyway, so let's get back to this. I still believe at the very least that this market needs to correct, and maybe down in this area if it is going to start coming back up. Now, you don't want to fight the trend, but it's got a lot of things against it right now. It's got this big resistance here. The Dow Jones has resistance I just showed you. And NASDAQ is also building. They're all in a balance area. And as you know, the balance areas don't last too long. A couple weeks, I'd say at max on an average, and then it starts to break down. So this is already drawn out pretty long here. And you can see these have eventually broken down and, gone in their direction. So let's see where this goes. I'm sure it's going to start correcting down in this area. At least that's where I have my money. And same with the Russell. Russell's hit this point up here, and it's starting to come down. So Russell's new low would be down here, where all the other markets are still up in this area. So Russell's still falling behind, and it has been doing that for over a year. So if Russell were to break above this line right here and come up in here, then I'd say, yeah, we're probably still in this little bull run within a big bear market. And let's see how far that goes. Okay, so what does this do for you? How are we going to make money doing this? I still have my put options here. They're pretty far out, so I can hang on to them. Let's take a look at a 4-hour chart. There's a closer view what the market's doing. Made a new high, and now it's starting to come down. Yesterday I mentioned you got to watch out for these markets and what they do. If you're a day trader, you got to be careful. I think we're down back in here in this area. Well, this is just an example. The market started breaking down, but then it shot back up. And that's what I mentioned earlier, that it's been doing that lately. It's been coming down and then shooting back up to the top. So you have to be pretty nimble, and you have to be careful, vigilant in what's going on here, because you got to remember this market is controlled by those people that have a lot of money, and they have a lot of interest in the market, and they know how to turn these things around to get people in, especially these down here in day traders, and then it shoots it up, and then they just not only lose all their money, but if you're trading futures market, you're losing more than what you put in futures contracts. So anyway, so the market's up here. As far as day trade, I'm not doing really much with day trading because, like I said, this market is so volatile right now that it comes down and then it just shoots back up. And I understand there are a lot of day traders aren't too happy with this market right now because there's not a lot of consistency. So once the market starts breaking down and even breaks out of this balance area down here, then hopefully there's going to be enough consistency where it's going to start going down instead of breaking down and then coming back up. So far in this balance area, it hasn't done that. It's come down and it's hit. So let's see what happens at this point. As far as a day trader, like I said, I'm not getting into this market as far as a day trade. You could let it balance out a little bit here, and if you think the market's going down, which eventually I believe it's going to do that, it's just a matter of timing, then you can start purchasing maybe within this area going down. But like I said, for me, I'm not touching this market as far as day trading. So here's a 1-hour chart. Again, this looks like it's pretty heavy here, and this would be a good place to buy put options further out. You want to buy them out a couple months at least, or at least a month. And because like I said, these things are only drawn out for a week to 2 weeks, and then it starts to break down or to go up. And so it's getting close to that point. And so you see the things against this market, and we got this resistance, and of course we had the VIX. So that's my take on this. Okay, that's it for now. I think I pretty much said what I needed to say. Just to reiterate, these markets are controlled, and you never want to fight trend. So although these people are controlling the markets, you just want to go where they go, and you also need to know that whatever happens, these markets always need to retrace. So they're going to retrace the market at some point, and then you just want to be on the right side of that, and then you want to get out ahead of time before they turn those markets back around. And that's the whole key to trading. So again, the markets are controlled. It's nothing sinister going on, or there's no conspiracies that are going on. It's called business. This is the biggest game on this planet. And since these, what they call big money, has control over a lot of things on this planet, why wouldn't they have control over the biggest game on the planet? Of course they do. It's very obvious. It's something I learned from the very beginning. So we just want to be on the right side of things. And like I said, if this market starts breaking out here and starts going into a little bull run in here, we want to go with that, But at this point, like I said, I don't see that happening. I see it breaking out of this area and going down, and at least correcting up and down into this area before it decides to come up. So you can start making some money at least from here to here. Okay, so that's the game plan. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.